Hi, so I'm going through a tutorial for Moho Animation Studio, which I've just gotten and I don't know how to use it, so I'm just gonna go through the actual official tutorial that opens up when you load the program. And you're gonna see me flub it and mess up, but if you want to follow along and see what this program is all about and how easy it is to learn, come along with me, and hopefully you can suffer along with me while I do this. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 20 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So let's get to it. Last time I created this hill with a gradient, and I misread part of the tutorial, which got me kind of frustrated. But once I figured it out, you saw that I got to where I needed to be. So this tutorial is 1.3, drawing complex shapes. So here we go, and this tutorial follows on the previous one and teaches you how to draw more complex shapes. You can either continue with the project you created in tutorial 1.0, or you can open a file provided for you named 1.2, so whatever. This file can be found in tutorial/basic blah 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Creating a new layer. So click the new layer button in the layer window to create a new layer in the pop-up menu. In the pop-up menu that appears, choose vector. Alrighty. So create a new layer here, and I choose vector. You could assign the name clouds to the name layer when you create it, and double click this new layer to rename it clouds. Yeah, it's already been renamed. Okay. All right, select the add point tool. Click reset button in the styles panel to reset the color of the styles panel. Reset the color to their default and set the width to 1. Okie dokie. Okay. Click to set the start point for a new segment. Without releasing the mouse, drag the cursor and release the mouse to create. This is what I'm reading. Without releasing the mouse, drag the cursor and release the mouse to create the end of the segment. The finished segment is shown below. Okay, well, without releasing the mouse, drag the cursor and release the mouse. Does it look like anything here? Oh, I see. We're gonna do something like that. And I am not gonna use the mouse. I'm gonna use my stylus and see how that works. That's what I'm gonna tend to use anyway, so. Here we go. Drag the cursor to finish the segment shown. Oh, so it's click and drag and stretch it out like this, and then they have the little pictures. So how many segments am I supposed to go through? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dots. Zoom in. Oops, this is wrong. I'm not supposed to release the... 3, 4, oops. 4. There we go. go. And I drag it there. So I just totally skipped that. I just looked at the pictures. So let me see. When you automatically the key point to remember is to extend the curve. You need to click on one of the endpoints and then drag the mouse to where you want the endpoint to be. Remember, if you make a mistake at any time, just undo menu. Okay, now what we're going to add a second puff to the cloud. Move the cursor to the point. Yeah, so what I discovered here is that when you put the thing down, you have to go back into it and drag it out. That's how it works. So that's pretty neat. Kind of like that. And then we just drag that out, little thing here. Oh, and then it wants us to go around, come around. So it wants us to do a little thing like that. So that's what I'm going to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's pretty sloppy. 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that. And then I guess you connect it. Pretty ugly looking cloud, but okay. And it should fill on its own. It's not filling on its own, so maybe I messed up. So let me see. Finally, add 2 or 3 points at the beginning of the original curve. Then you can add the last point, drag it over to the right line. Line it up with the next to the last point of the second curve before letting go of the mouse. Moho will automatically weld those points together and fill the cloud with color to get the shape below. So it's not happening. So there must be something that I messed up on. Didn't do it. Did I mess up? Must have messed something up. Yeah, it didn't do it. Sometimes it can be hard to follow the sequence of steps. Let's take a moment to watch a movie of the cloud created in Moho. Pay special attention to where the mouse is clicked in order to weld the two curves together. See that square. So click this link to view the video. That's kind of lame. I'm making a video about this thing, and then it's asking me to watch a video. Okay, so here's the video. Why stupid video. Well, it did it. We'll work fine there. What didn't I do? Okay, gonna do it again. Vector. Cloud. Apply. Plane. See, autofill, auto stroke. All right. Is it auto weld? Did I not have it on auto weld? Okay. So, because I skipped through a lot of this stuff, so this is what's going on. So let me see. Yep, auto weld has to be clicked on. All right, let's try it again. This time it should work. And I'm trying it with my stylus. So this is what happens when you're doing a tutorial and you're not reading everything because you're trying to rush. There we go. Now it works. So that was really stupid on my part. Alrighty, so here we go. We will add a line effect to make the clouds a bit softer. In the Styles window, check the Advanced button to display the advanced type settings, okay? So we've got advanced type settings now. Oh, it doesn't actually help when I pull this thing out, so. Right. Select soft edge from the stroke effect pop-up menu. So where is shapes, stroke effect. Soft edge. From stroke, accept the default settings and press OK. Now would be a good time to select the file preview command to see what your results look like. So File, Preview. Okay. It's terrible. It looks horrible. I don't like it. Okay. So that's the rendered cloud. It looks like garbage, but there you go. Okay, so next, let's make another cloud. Yes, let's make another crappy cloud. Because this is great to make a crappy cloud. So it's asking me to select that. So let's make another crappy cloud. With the clouds layer selected, choose Edit, select all. I already did. choose edit copy followed by edit paste. Next pick the transform point tool from the toolbar. Okay, so copy paste. And then drag it away. In the working area, click and drag to the right, move the cloud away from the original. When you paste an object from the clipboard, it is positioned directly on top of the original. Yeah, and that's kind of sucky. It gets pasted on directly on top of the original, and on the same layer. So I don't like that. Is there any way to... Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Use the transform tool to resize this new cloud, making it larger or smaller than the original as preferred. Here we make ours larger. So you do that using what? The transform point tools can resize an object. So then these. Okay. You can resize an object both vertically and horizontal, and with scale, whether or not the object is selected beforehand. In this case, we don't really want to change the cloud shape like that. With the transform tool active, click and drag one of the corner handles, but if I don't, what happens? Oh, okay. Continue the transform points until you get the cloud to the position you like. Alrighty. To deselect all of the points, edit select none. Can I just press escape? Or that? Escape? Let me see what happens. Okay. If I have that and I press escape, that deselects everything too. I don't want to be going back to the file button. Okay. Now you can use the transform point tool to click and drag individual points to reshape the second cloud. Okay. Yeah. I don't like... Okay, I see. Yeah, my cloud's not going to look like the one it is, the way it is in the tutorial over there, but okay. In this case, the drag individual points to reshape the cloud. In this case, since only one point is selected at a time, the transform point tool is used to reshape the cloud, not move the entire object. Just reshape a few points here and there so that the two clouds don't look exactly the same. I like this bit. That's kind of cool. You know, that's kind of vector thing. Vector thing. Okay. We're still going. So, plant a tree. Okay, good. Moving right along, but this scene needs some plant life. It does. Add a new layer to the project by clicking the new layer button in the layer window again. Choose vector from the pop-up menu. Name it tree. All right. Select a brown fill color from the style panel. Set stroke width to 4 and set the effect to plain. All right, so I'm just going to reset this sucker for brown. Let's use the, I'm going to use a different brown. Okay. I'm going to zoom out here. select a brown fill color from the style. By the way, this thing just got moved, so I gotta go all the way back through. I got brown, and the effect is plain. Using the add point tool along with the welding feature, draw a shape that resembles the trunk of a tree. Here are a few things to remember as you go. First, you can always use the edit undo command, blah, 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 blah. Okay, second, you can switch to using the transform point tool to reshape parts of the object even if you haven't finished the drawing the whole thing yet. Third, the transform points tool lets you pick individual points by clicking on them. If you want to get rid of a point but it's too far back to use undo, select it with the transform point tool and press the backspace or delete key on the keyboard. Feel free to be creative with the tree trunk. You don't really need to stick to the sample below. Alright. We gotta draw a tree. We're gonna continue down here because there seems to be more stuff in here. There are a few tools that may be useful when building your tree that haven't been introduced yet. The pan workspace and zoom workspace tool can be used to move around the workspace. So these are the ones that she's talking about. Zoom. Is there a hotkey that I could use for that? Okay, so that's that. But, no, and then this is the space bar. It doesn't. So zoom. I don't like. Oh, okay, I see. So you can do it like that. What's the hotkey for that? Because I'm going to need that. And then this is just moving around. So what are the hotkeys? Window. Give me the hotkeys. Edit. Hotkey shortcuts. You're kidding me. There isn't any. Pan and zoom don't have hotkeys. You're kidding? What? Not even Z? Let's see, can I just make a Z? New. Z. Z. Right here. The shortcut Z is already in use to manipulate bones. Okay, thanks for nothing. Wow, that's annoying. Okay. Let's make a tree. And really, I don't freehand this kind of, okay, I'll just make a shape. Doesn't matter what the shape looks like as long as it's kind of tree-ish. Oops. Yeah. looking shapes. This is a very terrible looking tree here. Maybe I'll do that. Like, I would want to sketch this out before I do this. This is just not usually how I draw stuff. I'm drawing this octopus thing that kind of looks tree-ish. And I can manipulate these. This is so round. Can I add points? They haven't told me how to add points. It would have been nice if they told me how to add points. Add points. Boop. There you go. So, like that. That's how you just boink. So they showed us how to get rid of points and how to add points. Okay, let's say that that's my tree. Whatever. What's next? Another useful tool is the curvature tool, which is this one over here. What does that do? Oh, I see. Yeah, give you little handle thingies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. I don't need them right now. There. The shape from the tree is similar to the clouds, so. But I'll read what it says. Another useful tool is the curvature tool. Using this tool, you can click and drag on a point to adjust how round or pointy the curve is as it passes through that point. I see. Use the curvature tool to adjust the curve, right? I wanted this to be... Oh, I see. Make it pointy. Does it just become pointy depending on what? Whoa. I kind of want it to... It's very pointy. I see. I see. Cool. I like that. Shit. What if I shift? Oh, I can't click multiples. kind of want to move this whole thing up here. There we go. So I'm just messing around now, just checking out these tools, how well they work. Just giving these bottom ones a little bit of a corner just to see. Adding a little finesse. Make it feel like this is part of the, it's going into the ground. I don't know, suddenly I'm getting all into making this look a little bit more like something that I don't know why I'm getting into this. Guess I'm just, that's suddenly got all artsy on you guys. I think it's a little bit too many. I definitely need shortcuts on this thing. It's just too much. Too much without shortcuts going back and forth to these. To these menus, and I really need shortcuts here. All right, it's enough. I think I get it. The last thing we'll add in this tutorial is some greenery to the top of the tree. The shape from the tree top will be similar to the cloud. So follow similar steps to create it. But there's one tricky part. Because the tree top overlaps the trunk of the tree, it can be easy to click on the wrong part and add a new point to the trunk instead of the treetop. There are two ways to avoid this problem. One, use the pan and zoom tools to move it close to the top of the tree so that it's easier to avoid clicking on the wrong thing. Well, is there a lock button? If there's a lock button, you just press the lock button. The second approach is to draw the treetop off to the side where there's plenty of empty space. Then, when the treetop is finished, drag it into position at the top of the tree. That seems kind of lame. For the second approach, when you're ready to move it back into position, use the transfer. Yeah, but what? Is there not a lock layer? I mean, can't you just lock this? Is there? Can I lock? Hidden in editing view. Don't render this layer. Apply file. There is no way to lock a layer? That's lame. How can you not lock a layer? And what's this little time thing? I'm gonna press it. No? Nothing? Okay. Alright, select a nice leafy green color in the styles, and then set the line to 4, and you'll see why later. Okay, so then it's showing me the examples, and I'm supposed to draw an ugly cloud shape instead of something that actually looks like tree. Okay, whatever. I'll draw an ugly cloud shape. And I already have this. It's bad. I got the cloud there. I kind of don't. Alright. I'll do what they're telling me to do. Here, reset. Where's the reset button? Oh, there it is. Reset. Pick. Green. And go for it. So I'll just make sure that I'm zoomed in enough. Okay, some kind of treetop shape. I'm making this shape as I go, making it up. There we go. Seems like it got a little out of control here. Maybe I'll just, there we go, something like that. I kind of want it to go off screen. No, I don't want it to do that. No, I don't want to do that either. There we go. Okay, something like that, I guess. Oh. All right. Okay, so choose. So now once you've got that down, choose File Preview to set how treetop looks. Notice that the end of the line segments look kind of square. Can't really see because it's selected. Edit, select map. It's still, I can't see anything. I can't see I can't unsee the dots. File preview, I guess. Choose file, preview. I see. Okay. They look kind of square. We'll fix that using Moho variable line widths. Exit the render window and press enter to deselect all points in the treetop. Exit the render window and press enter to deselect all points. I have pressed enter. I believe they are deselected as far as I can tell. Oh, I messed up. I was supposed to have this treetop on its own layer. That's what. Is there any way I can select this and copy and paste it to a new layer? Let's see. Well, it didn't ask me to do that though, did it? No, it's all supposed to be an all-in-one layer. I see. So never mind. I will go back and undo that. Boop. But at least I know that I can do that. There we go. Okay. So press enter to deselect everything. So enter. Okay. Okay. Using exit the render window and press enter to deselect all the points of the treetop. Using the line width tool, which is this one over here. Okay. Click on each of the points in the treetop that is at the end of the line. Okay. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Click on the point of the treetop that at the end of the segment. The area that the line width tool affects is indicated by a semi-transparent red circle. The default is 0.5, which is quite large. Decrease the width to around 1.1. I see. That's up here. Point 5. Point 1. Right. Okay. Or less to obtain a finer control of the area that you want. Okay, so me do that again. Point, and this one, and this one, and this one. And then we go preview. And nothing happened. That's great. All right, so let me try it again. Oh, let's see. Supposed to drag it. Drag it. Drag it. Okay. There you go. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Does it say that you're supposed to drag it? Use a click on each of the point in the tree that is at the end of the segment, the area that lines with. Decrease the width to around. Okay, area. Okay, choose preview. Yeah, it doesn't even tell you they're supposed to drag it. Oh, wow. Also try by dragging the line. Oh, there it is. Width tool back and forth to make the line thicker and thinner. Okay, there it is. And that is it. You can make your tree look like that. It's a beautiful. It's my beautiful tree. Kind of terrible, but okay. Control. And that's it. So that's how you use other points. Let me make the tree. Yeah, alright. So the hotkey for moving this thing around, you have to keep this thing on the... You have to keep your cursor on the front and you press spacebar and then you can move it normal. And if you have a mouse, you can use the scroll on the mouse to zoom in and out. But if you are just using a stylus, you can't zoom in and out that way. Which is, I'm really used to just pressing zoom in and zoom out through a hotkey. I don't want to have to be pressing a little zoom in button. This is kind of annoying, but all right. So that is tutorial 1.3, which is about making more complex shapes using the thing. Now, if I was to use this, because I just want to talk about so far what I've learned, I would probably come in and if I was going to ink something or have a final drawing, I would probably import a final drawing, or I would import a rough, and then I would clean it up using that point tool, and then add all the finesse later. But that's kind of what I would do, because so far, and I did play around with it a little bit with the pencil tool. The pencil tool is kind of terrible, so that's what I would do so far as that goes, is have rough drawings from Manga Studio first. But because I don't tend to draw like this, I don't like, oh, make a tree and then I just use points all over the place. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's just too out of control, and there's no control that way. There's no, you're just making it up as you go, and it's just not the way I do it. I tend to want to plan my stuff out. Alright, so that is it. The next tutorial will be bone setup. So import an object, and so I'm going to start doing bones just to see how that works, and we'll try that out next time. Alright, so hopefully that's been helpful. Sorry about me messing up. If this video is helpful in any way, I encourage you to go over to my Patreon and support me there. I do tutorials there, but depending on your tier, I also do one-on-one coaching. Right now, the coaching slots seem to be full, but I could put you on a waiting list when the slots are open. Then you can come in, and then we can have a one-on-one, and I can teach you how to further your and improve your drawings. You also get PSD files, and you get high-res JPEGs of all the artwork that I do. You also get early access to all the videos that I produce. You get exclusive videos that I produce, and coming soon you're going, depending on your tier, you're going to get full access to course videos that I'm going to be producing. So I highly encourage you to support me on Patreon. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.